Hey, what's up guys? Dizzy Nuts here. How you guys doing? So you can see I am standing in front of Small World, and the reason for that is a while back I posted a couple of photos here from the ride, and a couple of you guys asked of what were the settings and lenses and all that stuff. So today I'm going to show you. Let's go inside. So let's go ahead and talk about equipment. So for this type of shot, we're going to be using obviously my Canon 80D, which is the camera that I use for all my photos. I've been used for the last 2 years. And the lens is going to be the lens that has the widest aperture possible. In this case, I'm going to be using my f1.4. And for a reason for that is you want a really wide aperture for these types of rides, even though it's not fully dark, but you do want as wide as possible. That way you'll be able to set your shutter speed a pretty high number. That way you get the stuff basically frozen as much as possible. Okay, so when it comes to the camera settings, we're going to be shooting this stuff in manual mode, and the reason for that is that we want to be able to control 2 of the 3 things that make the exposure. And the first one is going to be the shutter speed, and that we're going to actually set to 1 to 125 of a second. And the reason for that is that if you've seen some of my other videos, I usually put 180 at 160, but I think 125 is a good number, since this room, it's not as dark as some of the other ones. For the f-stop, we're going to put it as wide as possible. Whatever lens you have, look for the lowest number, and that's what you're going to use. And for ISO, we're going to leave it as automatic. And another thing that we're going to be doing, we're actually going to be putting the camera sideways, because we want to get some really cool tall shots. The next camera setting that we're talking about is the autofocus mode, and we're going to be using the all servo mode. Now this mode, what it does is that as soon as we press the shutter button on the camera halfway, it's going to start the focus, and it's going to continue the focus. So the good thing of that since we're on a moving boat and stuff is moving around, we want the camera to focus continuously, and that way it won't lose the focus on the objects that we're taking the photos of. Now remember, you press the shutter button halfway through, and as soon as you see the good shot, you press it all the way. Finally, what we're going to be talking about is the metering mode. Now for these types of shot, we want to select something that focuses on the center of the image, because we don't want something that focuses on the whole image, because what could happen is that if the center is only lit and the outside is not lit, the camera's going to try to adjust itself to the outside of the image, and what's going to happen, you're going to bring up your ISO and you're going to get some really grainy photos. So for this, we're going to be using spot metering, or center weighted, which means it will focus only on the center of the image to that way adjust the ISO accordingly. I got a couple of tips for you for this ride. The first thing is you will have to ride it more than once. There's many times, although you see some of the shots, they look perfect coming out, but to be honest with you, I've been on this ride 2 or 3 times, so expect to do that as well. So don't expect everything to come out perfect on your first try. The second thing is try to get on the front row, and also if possible try to be alone, because what I did on one of these shots, I was sliding back and forth on the chair, and that allowed me to move around to get the good shots that I needed. If I needed to be closer or further, and that helps out a lot. Another thing also is, remember that I'm going to be tilting the camera, so that's just something I did for these types of shots, but you could leave it the regular angle if you want to. Okay, so when it comes to editing the photo, we're actually going to skip that on this video, because I want you guys to actually put your own touch to it, because I found that many times what I post, people will copy it down to a T, and I really don't want that. I want you guys to find your knack to the editing the photos and get your own style to it. So we're going to skip that for today. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get on the ride. It says it's like 35 minutes, so let's go ahead and check it out. Slowly getting close, very slow, but we're getting there. I think this is actually really the 35 minutes as it said on the counter outside. Now if you haven't seen them already, these are the plexiglass that they have on most of the rides when it comes indoors, and that with a combination of the markings on the floor, they keep people separated. Off we go. Now make sure to wave to the people at the window up there. guys, that's it here from Magic Kingdom, from It's a Small World ride, showing you how I took those photos that you guys have asked. Hopefully this helps you on your next visit and getting those dark ride photos like It's a Small World and others. So if this is the first time watching, my name is Dizzy Nuts and I do videos around Central Florida and mostly around the theme parks regarding photography and food and other fun stuff. So make sure you hit that like and subscribe and comment on it because it really helps to keep these videos flowing. So until then guys, stay awesome. See ya. Good night.